All right, Jason, in the meantime, another day of cleanup after the nasty storms and high winds that hit this weekend. First Energy telling us there are thousands of areas with damage, some of it worse than what we saw after last weekend's storm. Michelle Nix is live in Summit County. Michelle, good evening. What are you seeing there?
Good evening, Jim. We are here at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ in Cuyahoga Falls, yet another structure that has suffered severe damage from yesterday's powerful wind and storms. Look behind me here. The church has been damaged so severely that today's Palm Sunday service had to be moved to another neighboring church this morning. The entire flat roof was actually ripped off and flipped over into the center of the building, doing major destruction to that part of the church that is on the National Register of Historic Places, built in 1834. There's even a sign on the building that says, due to storm damage, Pilgrim United Church of Christ will be closed until it is safe to enter the building. Ian Morris, the owner of Buckeye Guys Roofing, has a team out here to secure the building for now until the full damage can be assessed. Here's what he had to say about the damage.
So what you're seeing here in the middle is this is the main surface of the roof, and it's actually flipped up from straight line winds, and it actually took two, I'd say 5-ton AC units with it.
Now, we've been trying to contact someone from the church to find out what this will mean for the upcoming Easter services, if they will move to that same church again next weekend. But there is also a Montessori school here beside me. That school, we're told, has extended its spring break, one of the parents telling me that, until everything is safe for the children to be back inside there. Another note, First Energy tells me that they have restored power to most of the people who didn't have power yesterday. 163,000 people have their power restored, about 29,000 others still waiting for their service to be turned on. In some areas, that could be not until Tuesday night. Reporting in Cuyahoga Falls, Michelle Nix, 19 News.